Good afternoon. I want to talk today about the stories we tell ourselves. So we each have an ideal of who we are. And that ideal is very much influenced by, first of all, our securities. If we're secure in our self-knowledge and what I would call self-confidence, if we know who we are, we get our inner strength from our insides, not from what people tell us about ourselves, we're likely to be more open to various stories that might enlighten us as, hey, you might not be such a nice person in this regard, or perhaps you come across as fawning in that regard, and we can accept that. But when we don't have that good inner sense of self, we alter our stories to our comfortableness, which I mean, we tell a story that we can live with, not necessarily what reality is telling us. And I suppose to some degree, there's no harm in that. But think about your growth as a person. I mean, isn't that the important thing in life? So many people will come to me and life was so hard and they just kept getting knocked down. And they would say things like, well, I just don't get a break. If something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. Just one thing after another. That's a sign of people who haven't healed. So if you want to grow and get out of that habit of feeling always victimized, you need self-knowledge. You need to heal. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we start being willing to examine the stories we're telling ourselves. So the story we're telling ourselves is, I haven't done anything wrong. Every time something goes bad, it's the other person's fault. I've got to convince them of that. I've got to let them know. So I stand up for myself. We're not going to grow as a person. We're going to keep that shield up that's keeping our story safe. But if we want to change and not always, think about the amount of anxiety and stress this kind of battle wears on a soul that does it day and night. So let's try to think about our story in realistic terms. Who's the person you feel safest with? Isn't it the person who's most authentic? Isn't it the person that can say, sorry, I kind of went overboard on that. That was out of place. I apologize. When you rather hear that, then I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that's wrong. I'm completely innocent in this. And then blame you or blame their wife or their husband or their children or their work people or their associates or the traffic or everybody else but themselves. Doesn't that get tiring? I think so. So think about story. We're going to continue this down the road, okay? Thank you very much.